They roll into turn 3. Bowman is elected to start on the inside. Here's Bubba Wallace and company.
Season starts tonight. Let's start off on a good note. Last time we were on Speedway, we did some great things, so let's continue that, use that momentum, pick through up into the seats, and let's get comfortable for Sunday.
His car owner turns 59 today. One of them, not Denny Hamlin. Michael Jordan.
Pretty cool cat. Got to meet him last year on the back straightaway. Spent some time with him one night. One of the neatest experiences, man, my adult life has ever seen.
60 laps, 150 miles. Fuel window just under 40 laps. Pace car is in. Front Roman Bowman brings him to green.
Already see Joey Logano pushing hard on Eric Almirola in that 10 car, going to the front in a big way. Look at this momentum. Look at the speed that they have over those cars on the inside.
Just watching that 10 car of Eric Almirola, by far the fastest forward. And I always remember what he told Jamie Little after qualifying last night. I'm a little question how my car is going to drive when we get out there in a pack. So we'll see.
Oh, and he moves up. They get to the inside of him. Must not have liked that push. Probably going to be going to the back in a hurry right here.
Almirola did not get up to speed through the gears quickly. But then in the draft on the back straightaway pulled even and now drops toward the back of the field.
Clint, you mentioned you see Alex Bowman in that 48 car leading. You got to go all the way back well outside the top 5 to find the next Chevrolet driver, Austin Dillon, in that 3 car.
Man, basically 3 teammates, 4 teammates as you look in the rearview mirror, 5 teammates essentially, and all those Toyotas behind him in the rearview mirror. Probably not what you want to see when you're looking out the back of the 48 if you're Alex Bowman.
20 cars in that lead pack. Jacques Villeneuve did get going, but he trails the field by about 3 seconds, Jamie.
Well, Jacques Villeneuve, as you noted, Mike, he was in pit road. They were having an issue with the throttle cable. They told him, do whatever you can do just to get out there and get 1 lap under your belt. So they're watching his speed right now, but he's going to stay out as long as he can to hopefully secure that spot for the Daytona 500.
And he's done it. He's fastest on time. He started the race. He's in the 500. That's not the first time we've heard about throttle cables this week.
And that's new because of the way the pedals are mounted on the floorboard and not hanging from the dash. You no longer use a throttle rod, use a throttle cable. Yeah, Chase Briscoe, Eric Almirola, possibly both of them had issues at the LA Coliseum.
Look at that gold foil number on the 21. Gosh, that takes me back to Neil Bonnet, to David Pearson, the Wood brothers. That gleaming gold foil. Outlawed by NASCAR, chrome and foil numbers for many, many years. And this year they've said, if you want to present it, we'll look at it and we will approve it perhaps, but for the door numbers only. That's okay with me.
Heck yeah, that looks so cool. How are you going to turn that down? It's the way it ought to be.
Kevin Harvick in that 4, he made kind of a bold move to the outside, but no one up there with him.
But it's exactly what he said right there. You know, when I was talking to him, he wanted to put himself in some situations, see what his car is going to do, and I think that's exactly what you saw.
Well, Harvick just did a fine job of advancing to the rear, and now we'll sort things out.
And his teammate, Eric Almirola, we've talked about it. You don't want to lose a draft. It seems very easy to lose a draft. As soon as those guys went by him, bye-bye, they're gone. Definitely fallen back and lost the draft.
Almirola trails this pack by 3 seconds. Timmy Hill by 6. Jacques Villeneuve by 13.
Just makes you wonder. You know, you heard Eric ask and have the question, the doubt in his mind after he posted that big lap. Man, is this thing going to handle? Maybe he didn't like the way those cars were pushing him, didn't like it at all, and pulled out, elected to get out of the pack.
in the past here at Daytona with the 6th generation car. Couldn't a single car catch a group in front of them if they were 2 or 3 wide?
Especially if they're, spread out. We saw in that first duel they were single file, but I would have thought with these cars running side by side, kind of spread out the way they are, especially down this back straightaway, that you would be able to pull up to them. Not the case if it's 10 car.
Eric Almirola has fallen to 19th. We listened into his team.
My bad, we're gonna lose the draft here. It's fine. All your gauges look okay? Yeah, all my gauges are fine. I'm not sure how much gear pressure I'm supposed to have. Good for it. I'll find out for you.
Larry, that's a new one. I've never heard that before. Where's gear pressure come from?
It's got to have something to do with that transaxle in the gearbox back there. That's all new to the next gen car here in the Cup Series in 2022.
That exhaust out the side, glowing red, cherry red, looks so cool.
The Dillon brothers working together. Austin and Ty, they race for different teams, but there's the 3 and the 42, nose to tail. Austin for the family operation, Richard Childress Racing, and Ty for the newly formed Petty GMS Motorsports. Richard Petty, Maury Gallagher getting together with a 2-car team with the 42 and 43 for this year.
I know we're only 7 laps into this dual race of the 60 laps, but these guys, they look pretty racy right now, side by side, 2 rows deep, about 8 or 10 rows.
And I can't help but to think that that's due, in fact, of the pairing that I see. A lot more parity within the organizations. A lot of Fords in this one, but a lot more Toyotas. And I think they're all finding each other.
Alex Bowman's Chevy has led 6. Joey Logano's Ford 1 lap. Of the 7 so far, they have been side by side the whole way. Nobody giving an inch. This lap goes to Logano by 3/100ths of a second.
We have 18 drivers separated by basically about 9/100ths of a second.
Watching these guys draft and do the bump drafting, it's almost like they're more comfortable, believe it or not, pushing one another in the corner than they are down the straightaways.
Clint, is that because the car is just a little bit lighter on the straightaway and it's loaded more in the corners?
Loaded more in the corners, what I was thinking. Probably just, more load on those tires is a little bit more stability.
Do you think that'll change as we get through Sunday and these drivers learn more about what this car wants and what it needs?
I just think the crunch time. When it becomes time, you push everywhere out of necessity. You have to go.
We'll have double the fun. We go from 21 drivers to 40.
Now at the bottom of the pylon, Greg Biffle 1 second off at the tail of that lead pack, and Timmy Hill 24 seconds back. Those are the 2 drivers racing for the transfer spot. Jacques Villeneuve is already guaranteed into the field on time, and he is a half a lap back of the leaders, but he'll be in the 500. Well, Martin Truex gives that Chevy a push back out front, and the Toyotas close in on the inside lane behind him. Joey Logano trying to get back to the lead. Jamie?
Well, Mike, a lot of these drivers in the field were able to go talk to their teammates before they got in the car and get some really helpful information. Joey Logano was one of them. He talked to Austin Cindric. Austin told him what mistakes he made in pushing Blaney, told him what the car did, how it reacted, and Joey nodded his head like, okay, that gives me confidence what I need to do in my race.
Now Logano in a Team Penske Mustang. The car behind him, Harrison Burton. That's the Wood Brothers car, but that is a Penske satellite team run out of the same shop. So they are teammates in all but name.
And just like we saw in that first duel with Ryan Blaney, those Penske cars look extremely impressive.
Mike, I talked about it when we did the starting lineup. Harrison making his 2nd career start. You know what happened the last time the 21 car came to Daytona and a driver was making his 2nd career start, don't you?
I believe that was Trevor Bayne.
It was.
And he won. That also happened on February 20th, the date of this year's race. Joey Logano trying to win the duel. Alex Bowman out front.
Underway. This time I'm standing outside the pit box of the 27 car of Team Hesseberg. Formula One champion Jacques Villeneuve piloting that race car tonight. Jacques has already qualified for the Daytona 500 and will be starting on Sunday no matter the outcome of tonight's race. Bit of a rough start to tonight's events. They had a broken throttle cable under pace laps. Fortunately, able to get it fixed and get Jacques running before taking the green flag. Strategy for this team tonight, according to team owner driver Loris Hezemans, he said, stay out of trouble. We're gonna run in the back of the pack and try not to acquire any damage on this race car. I will keep you updated from here in Daytona. I'm Jesse Punch. Enjoy the duels.
Clash at the Coliseum winner, Joey Logano, out in front of Harrison Burton. Those two Team Penske affiliate cars. Out in front here, Austin Dillon, Alex Bowman, Ty Dillon. All sharing their time at the front. Now something interesting at the back of the 22 of Logano's car. Down low at the diffuser. What's flapping?
Yeah, it's got that little, it's like a flap that can come down, and it's got a cable with a ball that you can reset the tension on. It looks like to me, whether it's from being hit in the rear, we know Harrison Burton in the 21 was back there a lot, beating on the rear bumper. Knocked it loose.
Yeah, and what that is if that car goes around backwards, it's operated off the roof flap. As soon as that roof flap goes up, it pulls and releases that cable, letting that thing down, cutting the airflow off the car, and keep that thing on the ground, keep it from flipping over. Might keep it in the lead too, but not for long.
New leader, the Dillon brothers have come to the front. Austin and Ty with Chris Buescher on the outside, trying to join his teammate Brad Keselowski as a dual winner tonight.
Remember, I spoke about Ricky Stenhouse Jr. in that 47 car. There he is, started pretty deep in the field, and he's up there on the outside right behind Chris Buescher in that 17. That's actually Kevin Harvick. Yeah, now Stenhouse is on the outside. Harvick's behind Stenhouse.
And those two are going to work well together. Kevin talked about it, wanted to feel it out, maybe put himself in a situation he didn't like, got back up, rebounded, and look at him.
Denny Hamlin, three-time Daytona 500 winner, back in 14th place, comparing this race with duel number 1.
We're not going to go anywhere. I really don't like the energy right now. I don't like the energy right now. I think we need to back out of this.
I don't like the energy right now. I think we need to back out of this, is what Hamlin said.
Does that mean he doesn't like how they're racing in front of him, thinking possibly a crash, doesn't like what he sees.
Is energy a code word?
Well, energy can be a lot of different things. You know, the energy from momentum and things like that. People, you know, as they compress one another, catching one another. A block right there. Chris Buescher almost pulled up in front of Ricky Stenhouse. Those are the kinds of things that I think Denny Hamlin saw and didn't like.
Larry, you said there are 2 aggressive drivers in this race?
And there they are, both
2
pretty close
times
to the front.
2 times how many?
Hey, but what does it take to have success on a racetrack like this? I mean, Larry, you crew chief for him. It takes aggression and a lot of it.
And I'm pretty impressed with Kevin Harvick in that 4 car. No speed whatsoever in qualifying, but it looks like he's got a good race car, a car that's handling well.
Already 4 times as many lead changes in this duel. There were only 2 in the prior duel.
And I can't help but to think it's just like we're rewound last season. You know, everybody always used to say when we would come to Daytona and Talladega, that nose, the nose on the Ford, how round it was, shaped like a bull nose. It helped them push just like you're seeing here. And then the point of the Chevrolet and the Toyotas, it kept them from doing what they wanted to do. They always complained, man, those Ford guys can be more aggressive. And honestly, it's just like you're seeing that all over again in 2022.
Yeah, we saw it in practice on Tuesday evening.
Lap 20. The train is on the top. Single file. Top behind you. All good.
That is the 47. That's Tab Boyd. Spotting for Ricky Stenhouse.
New spotter for them.
Yep.
New spotter combination for him and Ricky.
But Clint, this is different from Duel 1. We never saw the line go to the top of the racetrack like this group is doing.
Yeah, but I don't think they tried. You know, Ricky brought them up and found it right off the bat. The thing I do like about this, you can guarantee yourself until the end of this run, until push comes to shove and somebody wants to, they're going to stay right there or they're going to go to the back.
Now, last year in a dual race in which all 3 makes had multiple cars, the Fords pitted first, the Toyotas as a group pitted second, and the Chevys pitted third. Now, that was last year, whole different race car. 21 laps complete. Chris Buescher in front. We're going to take you Fox side by side. 24 laps complete in the second 150 miler at Daytona, the one that determines the outside lane of the starting grid for the 500. Chris Buescher, the leader. Ricky Stenhouse in second. Something else that's new about this brand new 7th generation car is that in addition to rear view mirrors, they also have a rear view camera that projects on a mirror. You see Stenhouse looking up at his center rear view mirror and then down toward the dash at the output from that camera on a screen that is shaped like an inside rear view mirror. Now, obviously, the lens of that camera is going to be a little different from what you see on the mirror, and that's going to take some adapting for these drivers.
100%, and maybe that's what he's practicing, is just trying to figure out which one of those he's going to trust, because they're definitely drastically different. I don't know if you've ever drove a car, a passenger car. Some of these new ones have those cameras in them now, and you can flip it over. My wife's car, you can do that, and I'm telling you, I go old school. That camera thing scares me. I don't know if I trust it yet.
You can flip the camera over. I've got a new rental car. I'm trying to figure out how to go between the heat and the air.
Well,
you're in Florida. What are you doing with the heat on?
We had those cameras in the motor coach, and I just lined up the left side and listened for the right.
Keep it between the mayonnaise and the mustard. That's my rule of thumb.
Greg Biffle, 9th place, right in the middle of that lead pack. And here come the Toyotas.
Are coming. They are coming.
Whoa! Denny Hamlin
spins out.
Watch, sit tight, sit tight.
It obviously hurts Denny Hamlin, but it's going to hurt the Toyota's effort because they've lost one of their guys.
Regan?
Well, Kyle Busch on the top right of the screen. 2 tires for him. As you see, only thing they've been working on is communication with him and Tony Hirschman about where the runs are coming from. Jamie?
Denny Hamlin got it turned back around. Now he pulls into his pit box. His teammates, they took right sides only. Of course, they're going to check all 4 tires for that 11 as they work the left side of the car now. So he's way off the pace, as you guys said. He lost his running mates, and now he's down and away.
Let's see what caused Hamlin to lock him up and lose control entering pit road.
I think you could hear it in the drive line. I heard it kind of, you know, you see it right there. Wheel lock up and just spun around trying to stay off of his teammate in front of him, and then when he gassed up in the grass, spun all the way around, which is why they elected to go ahead and just put 4 tires on it.
Yeah, you can see the front tires locked up right there.
But I saw the left rear locking up as well. And in that in-car camera right there, you can actually hear, I know with this car, with this new transmission, the way we have it, you hear it kind of bouncing, hopping with that rear drive line. And the way it went.
Hamlin's known for being extra aggressive getting onto pit road with the occasional speeding penalty coming in. And with these new brakes with 30% more effectiveness than last year and these wider tires, did he just maybe grab for a little too much?
Well, and Clint, one thing they still have on this car versus the old car is the adjustment between front and rear bias. And there's a lot that goes on there for you coming on the pit road.
Absolutely. And I saw it just like you did, Larry. I did see those front tires lock up, but I also thought that I saw that left rear smoking as well. So he had all 4 of them locked up, and man, it went around in a hurry.
Now, what do you do if you're Ricky Stenhouse and you're second in line? Do you pit with the Fords you're racing with, or do you wait for the other Chevrolets?
I think I'm going to stay right there with my dancing partner.
The Chevrolet contingent is just not that stout in this dual race.
You have the Dillon brothers, 7th and 8th, Biffle in 9th, Corey LaJoie in 14th, and Alex Bowman, our Daytona 500 pole sitter, has dropped to 16th.
Now, what I want to watch is lap times on these Toyotas to see how they match up with that lead group, to see if they're making up ground. Because if they keep losing ground, that's not going to be good, even with that other group coming to pit road under green.
Last lap up front, 47 seconds. Last lap for those Toyotas, 48.5.
So they're giving up a second and a half, second and 3/4.
And one thing, I don't want to make this mistake again, guys. We watched that it right there at the end, didn't catch it. Greg Biffle running 9th right here. Do not make a mistake when you decide to pit. Man, take it easy. Do not make a mistake and take yourself out of this.
All Biffle needs to do to make the Daytona 500 is finish on the lead lap. His competition, Timmy Hill, is already 1 lap down. RFK Racing, Roush, Fenway, Keselowski, trying to sweep the duels. The last organization to do that was Hendrick Motorsports in 2015. Sure is a nice rebound for this group from the Busch Light Clash 2 weeks ago.
100%. You know they're all smiles. Brad's, man, he's happy about his win, but now he's watching his other car do the same exact thing, leading this race, the second duel at Daytona. That's a big shot in the arm for that organization.
And Mike, you may ask me, when do I anticipate this group here pitting? Well, they can probably run another 8 to 9 laps, and I would keep going here because they continue to put more and more real estate on that Toyota group that's already been to pit road.
47 flat for Chris Buescher, 48.30 for the Toyotas.
Yeah, I mean, you're right, Larry. Just sitting in the catbird seat, they're sitting there taking a pull off of the Toyotas in front of them, utilizing that and gaining on them. I mean, total
they're gaining on them and getting a tow from them too.
Best case scenario. Before you know it, they're going to be able to lift and save some fuel. I would say as soon as they catch them, that's when you catch them and then pit.
I think the Fords are coming right now. I think they're going to come on this lap. But I'm like you, Stenhouse, you got to come with these guys.
Well, he's in a really good situation. They are going to come right here, and he's going to come with them.
Logano coming in hot on the inside, and they're 3 wide coming to pit road under green. Jamie.
Joey Logano, you see how quickly he had to check up. He was just the 3rd pit box on pit road. Remember, that first race, they only took right sides. Joey Logano, quick stop there, down and away for the 22, Regan.
Well, Chris Buescher with the 17 car, he has been very happy with that race car. Not a word on the radio. And the 4 of Kevin Harvick, the only reminder was to not slide the tires so they could take 2.
Well, the Chevys all came in with them, and there was a miscue between the Dillon brothers. There was contact on pit road between Austin and Ty.
Just watching pit road, who's going to really lose the draft is Greg Biffle in that 44 car. They just been sitting there. I mean, I don't know if it's not taking fuel.
Oh, no.
Just way too much time.
The only thing you couldn't afford to do.
Don't beat yourself.
So much pressure on those guys, those teams all across the board.
Now Biffle is still on the lead lap. Just barely. Timmy Hill 1 lap down as they race for the final spot in the Daytona 500. Looking back from Joey Logano at Chris Buescher, the 2nd place car. Michael McDowell 3rd, Harrison Burton 4th, Kevin Harvick 5th, all in Fords. Ricky Stenhouse right with that group, but now in 6th place. Let's show you the contact on pit road between the Dillons.
I think Austin missed his pit stall.
Yeah, he was way too far to the outside of pit road for how early his stall was on.
Sure was.
On there, and that caught Ty unaware.
And right now with 26 to go, this group here led by Joey Logano, who's leading the race, they're about the distance of the back straightaway in front of that Toyota group.
Eric Almirola has just pitted, so has Jacques Villeneuve, but Villeneuve overshot his pit and goes back out. Quite a moment for Denny Hamlin here as he tried to get on pit road, but he has recovered and he is still on the lead lap.
race fans, Jesse Punch here, coming to you live once again from Daytona International Speedway. An update on the 27 car of Loris Hesseman's, Team Hesseberg. Jacques Villeneuve is in the driver's seat tonight. The final Chevrolet to bring it in. He's pulling down pit road as we speak. Unfortunately, an issue reaching his pit box last time. The plan for the team was to take 4 tires and fuel. That seems to be what's happening as they're changing both right side tires currently. You see the fuel man, of course, adding fuel. Once again, the strategy for Team Hesseberg today was to stay in the back of the field. So the strategy is working in their favor. Doesn't look like their strategy on the pit stop, though, is going to come to fruition. Looking under the hood, maybe making some adjustments. I'll get with the team and let you guys know what the verdict is. Until then, enjoy duel number 2.
.22 laps to go. It's a 4-car breakaway. All Fords, Logano, Buscher, McDowell, and Burton. They have lost Kevin Harvick and Ricky Stenhouse. There was a plan in place for those Fords up front to fan out double wide so that Harvick could catch back up to them. However, that didn't happen, and Harvick was not happy.
21, I'm not doing anything. I'm working, trying to get too far behind now. They told I hear you. I've been on them since you started here. Yeah, the Penske car's called the fanning out off. So, yes, he said they screwed us. Just keep doing what we're doing here. We got a long way to go.
And what that means, and honestly, a little bit of a rookie thing right there. If you look in your mirror and you see one of your allies or your teammates, you know, a Ford ally right there and some help with Kevin Harvick, if he's lagging back a little bit and having trouble, fan that thing out, spread out a little bit, create a bigger wake and let him pull up, because effectively all the Fords as a one are going to be stronger than just 4 of them. But as you heard them say, maybe Penske pulled that off, called it off, thought that it wasn't worth it.
So now with 21 laps to go, the speed disparity between the Ford group and the Toyota group is gone. Last lap, the Toyotas were 0.3 of a second faster than the 4 Fords out front.
Again, hence the frustration in Harvick.
Yep.
Yeah, with 20 laps to go, they're about a little over 10 seconds behind. This group right here that we're looking at, these 4 Ford drivers, they're going to have to stay pretty organized and stay tucked up if they want to maintain.
Jacques Villeneuve has gone behind the wall, but his speed will get him into the Daytona 500 on Sunday. There are the Toyotas going past Ricky Stenhouse and Kevin Harvick. 4 seems to be the magic number of a group of cars to maintain top speed.
But if I'm them, if I'm Toyota and I'm catching them, I'm going to fan out and help those guys help me.
And as they were catching those cars, Mike, it really helped their lap time for a couple of laps.
Well, had Stenhouse not had such a big gap between himself and Harvick, that might have held those Toyotas up a bit.
And you can see Stenhouse pulled up to them. He didn't lose it. Harvick is having trouble hanging on to that draft, but I think they're going to fan out, get him up there, and utilize him to their advantage.
Can you believe how quickly one car, any car, can lose touch with the draft and become detached from it?
Well, I hate to say it, but that's 2 SHR cars, and it looks like Kevin's going to lose that draft. And the 10 car of Eric Almirola, his teammate, did the same thing.
47 by when that Toyota group was coming like that.
Oh, that was Rodney Childers, the crew chief, to Kevin Harvick.
I don't know if that was to Kevin Harvick.
Oh, to the spotter, Tim Fedewa?
Maybe.
or just to anybody.
Yeah, I mean, the last time by the Toyotas, they were down in the 47-teens, 47-20s. That group of Fords at the front, 47-70s, so a good half a second that last lap or two.
Well, with 18 laps to go, if they can maintain that advantage, they'll all be together at the checkered flag. Greg Biffle is still in the transfer spot. He's got Alex Bowman working with him now. 2 Chevrolets in tow. Bowman will start the 500 from the pole, and Biffle is in position to roll from row number 19 on Sunday.
Looking pretty right now, having that 48 that you know he's going to be an ally to you, help that other Chevrolet. Pretty good company right there. If you're Greg Biffle, you're liking what you see.
I think Bowman's very content to run right there.
Sure.
100%.
And with Timmy Hill 3 laps down, Biffle's position in Sunday's race is pretty assured.
Yeah, with 17 to go, if they stay organized like they are, even though the Toyotas have picked up another car with Stenhouse, it's not going to be enough time. They're still sitting there 9-10 seconds behind.
Joey Logano out front. Chris Buescher. Logano's now led 18 laps. Buescher earlier led 16. 7 for Alex Bowman, 2 for Austin Dillon, and 1 for Ricky Stenhouse.
What a few days Joey Logano had a couple of weeks ago. He won the Busch Light Clash at the LA Coliseum, came home 2 days later. His baby girl, his 3rd child, Amelia, was born.
Bubba Wallace in 8th place, 9 seconds off the lead, but right in the middle of that group of Toyotas.
You know, you say your math, and the one thing I do like about this Toyota pack, now they're catching a teammate, Denny Hamlin, that had that trouble on pit road. He is leading a 3-car brigade right in front of them. They're going to get the pull off of that one. That's going to help them probably attach Denny Hamlin. That may be enough to catch them as we get down to the closing laps and catch these Fords.
I'll say it helped them down in the 46s, 46.90s that lap.
Oh, Clint, see, told you.
No, it's great observation because the 4 Fords have nobody in front of them to even sniff a draft off of. Well, Joey Logano has not yet lost a race in 2022. He'll come to the line with 14 to go.
Okay, they caught that line of 3 as you see them going to the outside right here. Be interesting to see. Keep your eye on Denny Hamlin, the 11 in the FedEx car. He's going to try to get up there behind them and help them as quick as possible here.
That group is 8 seconds behind this group leading the race.
And they just ran 0.8 quicker than that group leading the race.
So those 4 Toyotas on the lead lap will pull around. Hamlin will try to attach himself to them. And there's Hamlin. Yep, moving up behind Bubba Wallace. And now we'll see if that 6-car train is faster than the 4-car lead pack.
If they have a chance, that's going to be how it happens. Strength in numbers always on a track like Daytona, and that's exactly what they've assembled.
47.60 for the leader Logano that lap. Kyle Busch's lap was about the same, but they were double wide completing that pass on that lap. We'll check it next time around.
Yeah, they were very unorganized that time, and that hurt them about a second that lap from the last lap.
Well, it was a transition lap, right? They had to go side by side, transition back into play. But this is where they really got to get crunched in. You got to tighten that pack, tighten that train right here, and really push hard on one another, which is exactly what you see Christopher Bell doing to Kyle Busch.
Joey Logano and Chris Buescher thinking ahead to the final laps of this race.
Can the 17 get there? Do I have to help him get there? Oh, he's got to help us. The 22's got to help us if he wants us to push him. He says he's going to need a little bit of help to get there. You still need to get there on your own hurt.
So Chris Buescher saying he's going to need a little help. And there they are in touch. 1st and 2nd place cars. 47.26 last time. The Toyota's half a second slower. We'll check it this time as they come around for 11 to go.
And the Fords now, they're catching a couple of cars that's up there nose to tail, and their lap times reflect it. They picked up to the 47.20s and 30s.
I'm losing hope, Larry.
47.40 for Joey Logano leading the first pack. And Kyle Busch this time 47.75, about 4/10 slower. Jamie.
Jacques Villeneuve is out of this race, but he's in the Great American Race on Sunday. What does it mean to you to make the field for the Daytona 500?
Oh, it's great. I'm happy we made it on time, because with the issues we had today, it would have been terrible. And good we had them today, not on Sunday.
See you on Sunday. You guys able to fix it tomorrow?
Oh yeah, we'll be able to fix it. No issues.
All right, one more practice tomorrow night, Mike.
Indy 500 champ, Formula One World Driving Champion, and he'll be in his first Daytona 500 on Sunday.
Okay, they're catching those two cars of Greg Biffle and Alex Bowman in the 48. That's only going to help them even more. I can't help but to think, Larry.
Yeah, they just shot down almost 47 flat. It's actually helped them the last 3 or 4 laps.
Lap cars stay high. 10 to go. Logano, Buescher, McDowell, Burton. Who do you like if it comes down to these 4? And it probably will.
Remember what I said about being aggressive? That man leading this pack's pretty aggressive.
I agree 100%.
Michael McDowell got into both the Penske cars at the front on the last lap of the Daytona 500 last year, found himself in victory lane, and he started the last lap in much the same position he's in now. Now, of course, way more at stake then than there is tonight. And rookie Harrison Burton, man, I'd just be thrilled to be there.
He is doing a good job doing exactly what he needs to do with his teammates right there, his allies again with the Penske cars. These guys are doing a great job, and honestly, they're just staying efficient, staying tight to one another. You can see Chris Buescher pushing Logano again, just helping their lap times, do everything you can do.
Everything's just falling in line for these leaders now. Now there's 4 cars in front of them nose to tail that they're catching.
Yeah, that'll be the Dillon brothers, Eric Almirola and Corey LaJoie, just going past. They're still on the lead lap, but not by much, as you see. Logano last time 47.37. Kyle Busch 0.2 slower, leading the Toyota back. And not that the Toyota drivers did anything wrong. They had a little dust up, maybe a couple lost a half a second on the Denny Hamlin problem getting onto pit road, but they formed back up. They got out there, just don't seem to have the speed that these Fords do tonight.
No, they don't. And again, it takes me back to what I said a little bit ago. For whatever reason, the Fords they don't seem to show up in qualifying. They don't have that sheer speed by themselves, but boy, you put them out there in a pack in a draft and they always shine.
There is the gap and how it has increased. All right, Logano coming up on a little too wide traffic. Corey LaJoie moved up, and now Logano has to go to the high side to pass Austin Dillon. You know how long it's been since both dual races went caution free? And no, I'm not trying to jinx this. 2003 was the last time that happened.
You know, you talk about good race cars and maybe not having the qualifying speed. Quite honestly, that's what's impressive to me about that 21 car in Harrison Burton and Wood Brothers. They had good speed in qualifying, and that car seems like it's able to run up there and driving good for Harrison.
I think they have a good limit on their adjustments. You know, I know it's impound procedure with this, but you know, these shocks fully adjustable on both sides of that, taking the dampening out of it, changing all of that stuff. I just feel like that's playing a big role in the handling of these cars. They feel like they look like they're stable. They seem to race good. They bump draft good. It's all good things for Sunday. Don't forget, folks, the old pay window's not open yet.
Yeah, right. 4 Fords from 4 different teams out in front here. Team Penske, RFK Racing, Front Row Motorsports, and the Wood Brothers. Austin Dillon coming to pit road. And that will put him well back in the starting lineup for Sunday as he takes on right side tires.
Yeah.
Well, Ford swept the top 4 spots in Duel 1. They're in position to do it again.
Well, his teammate Brad Keselowski, we saw him make the move with 4 to go. Is he going to try to do it that early? I thought that was kind of a mistake, but it played obviously the role for Brad and winning this thing. I looked for him to wait for maybe at least 2 to go.
But I think you definitely don't wait to 1 to go, right?
No. Yeah, you know, I like Michael McDowell being behind me. If I'm Chris Buescher, I do like that scenario. But you know Harrison Burton's probably going to latch onto that 22 and go with him.
Four laps to go. That's Timmy Hill on the high side. 3, now 4 laps down. And Hill likely to be the one car in this race that does not transfer into the Daytona 500. Greg Biffle, 1 lap down in 12th.
Half by half, half by half. 3 laps to go here at the line. Half by half.
Coleman Presley talking to Joey Logano. What's he mean half by half?
Well, I think he's you know, half a car length back, staying right there. And exactly what you want to see. But again, if you're Chris Buescher right here, you're setting him up. You want to stay back a little bit so you can get that drive. See, 3/4. Now he's fell back a little bit, going to pounce on him, get it, going to run. Maybe it happens right here as soon as he catches him. Be ready for it.
1 lapped car in the distance ahead of Logano. We'll give him he'll be able to sniff a little bit of a draft here.
I feel like you have to give that gap, but you're going to have to back up to that car behind you and Michael McDowell and get that big push, get the run on Joey Logano to make a move.
Austin Dillon up high after making that pit stop for tires. And the leaders come by to the inside. It'll be 2 to go.
Trying to catch him off guard, just like you talked about with Brad. You know, he caught him off guard. You heard Ryan Blaney say, I didn't expect him to go when he did. Caught me off guard and went off and won the race.
Clint, you talked about it. We're down to 2 to go now, so we'll be coming to the white flag this next time by, half a lap from now.
And they'll catch Kevin Harvick probably right about at start finish. Harvick lost the draft from Stenhouse and is now,
which is an opportunity. Exactly what I'm looking for if I'm Chris Buescher, catching some car in Kevin Harvick. Now watch this. Going to go by him, hopefully use a side draft or something off him to your advantage.
white flag waves. 1 lap to go, sponsored by Credit One Bank. Does Chris Buescher have a move? He's now backed up to McDowell. Half a car length to the leader, Logano. He's got to go to the bottom.
Oh!
And he can't get there, and he wrecks Logano.
Logano blocked. Logano moved down, blocked. I hate to say it. He was under him and got a pretty big block right there. You knew it was going to be aggressive, and unfortunately, cost him. I want to watch a replay, but that's how I feel like I saw that.
The white flag had waved, so the next flag ends the race. And Joey Logano, who was in a position to win his duel, is all crumpled up on the apron.
And it will be where those cars were at the moment of caution. It has nothing to do with scoring loops.
And Greg Biffle will come across on the lead lap one lap down in 13th place. And Biffle will take New York racing to the Daytona 500 on Sunday.
You knew it was coming. It's just like I said, as they caught that lap traffic, that gave him that opportunity, got him crunched up, got a run, made his move to the inside.
Waiting on the unofficial results, Harrison Burton, we believe, is third. And is it Chris Buescher or Michael McDowell who was in front at the moment of caution? And that is determined by the NASCAR officials. They have a button they hit that illuminates the caution lights and freezes the scoring. And then NASCAR also uses video evidence to determine the order of finish when the caution occurs on the final lap of the race.
You can see him backing up a little bit here, gets the push off of Michael McDowell, and sets this up for the exit of turn 2.
They clear David Reagan.
Goes for the move to the inside, and I called it, and I knew Joey moved down to make a block. You knew he was going to have to, went for it, and unfortunately got turned around in a wreck.
We'll take a second look.
I want to see when his caution come out too.
Buescher dives to the inside, fills Logano's mirror. He comes down and they collide. Look at McDowell slamming on the brakes along with Burton. They get through.
Yes, but when does his caution come out? Because Chris Buescher is still ahead of him right now. And 17's your winner. I'm getting a thumbs up over here, boys. Chris Buescher, number 17, your winner.
Well, Michael McDowell just barely got by there in that 34 car. You could see right there the caution light was on, and that 17 was in front of the 34.
McDowell appeared to hit Logano, sending him spinning, and that loss of momentum right there might have cost him the race, because Chris Buescher is going to celebrate his first Duel win in his 7th start after a wild finish here. And Roush Fenway Keselowski sweeps the Duels.
How about that?
It was a rough trip to LA for them, but boy, they have rebounded here so far.
Florida's good to them. Stay in Florida.
Regan Smith.
Well, victorious Chris Buescher climbs from the race car. Very exciting finish to this race, Chris. A little bit of contact on the back straightaway there. Talk me through it in your eyes and tell me about this victory. Roush Fenway Keselowski Racing, what a day.
Yeah, that's what a way to start Speed Weeks out here, right? To put both RFK Ford Mustangs victory lane. Get fast and all, their first win on a Cup car. I know it's not the big show, but we got a really good hot rod here. So just hats off to everybody back at the shop. I know it's been a hectic off season for everybody in our sport, right? But we've had a lot of changes going on, and that's it's cool to see it play out. So, you know, I think we were racing there. I think Brad talked about it. We got to race because he kept his clean and won. So we got to go out there and race it. And I know everybody's trying to do the same and trying to throw a block there at the end. I don't want to get into them, just trying to pull down and get in front of the 15 there. But I don't want it to happen that way for sure. But I am really proud of the effort, proud of a nice, good execution all the way down pit road. And we're in a good spot here. That's exciting.
Chris Buescher, Duel number 2 winner.
Let's go back and take another look, and we're going to try to show for you the moment of caution. First, this replay, Buescher, as he explained, just trying to get down in front of David Reagan, and Joey Logano comes down in front of him, and they hit right front to left rear. Logano goes in the wall, and no, McDowell did not touch him. It was Harrison Burton who got into Logano after that. Now, using the Fox Ghost car, there is the moment of caution, the timestamp that goes on the video. Buescher was below the yellow line, but he was in the act of avoiding the collision, and so he is your winner. The last time a Roush car went to victory lane in the Cup Series was the summer of 2017 here with Ricky Stenhouse. Former Roush driver Greg Biffle is going to be in the Daytona 500 on Sunday. A calamitous finish to Duel race number 2. In the gray jacket, that's a new co-owner of Roush Fenway Keselowski Racing, Brad Kay. After celebrating his win, he comes over to help Chris Buescher celebrate, and Jack Roush is in victory lane as well. First time since 2015 a team has swept the Duel races. Hendrick Motorsports, and there's the cat in the hat. Jack Roush enjoying the celebration. Great to see him here at the track. A former Roush driver also races his way into the 500. Regan.
Well, my Greg Bispel has made 14 starts in the Daytona 500 previous to this. I don't know that you've ever had to work as hard to get in as you did tonight. Congratulations.
Thanks. I mean, it was a tough go. I got to thank Chevy and RCR and Hendrick Engines and Jay Guy. The car drove so good. And this was a last-minute deal. These team guys thrown together. We had trouble getting fuel in the car. I ran out of gas with 2 laps to go, so 25 pounds of fuel pressure. Everything happened tonight, but we finished 14th. And, you know, I'm glad maybe that fuel stop wasn't perfect because I might have been in that wreck.
Greg Biffle, he'll race in the Daytona 500.
Earns the 38th starting spot. Jamie Little is over by the Advent Healthcare Center waiting to talk to Joey Logano as you see his car hauled away. Chris Buescher celebrates in victory lane. Coming up next, the Emmy Award-winning series 100,000 Cameras, with the story of the groundbreaking clash at the Coliseum as told by you, the fans, is right here on FS1. But first, we've got to set the field for the Daytona 500 and take one more look at this last lap between Joey Logano and Chris Buescher. David Reagan to the inside. Buescher makes his move. He and Logano get together. Here's Jamie.
And Joey Logano has been checked and released and says he's okay. But Joey, you just saw the replay there. What were you thinking and seeing in that moment?
I just made a mistake. Dang it, I didn't think the run would come that quick. It just seemed like it happened really quick. Even watching the replay, it happened quicker than I thought it would. I knew a run was going to happen at some point in the last lap. I thought that was pretty early. I didn't think it would happen there, and the speed that it happened was quicker than I thought, and thought I was still clear, and I wasn't. So apologize to my race team. Wrecked their car. I tore up the 21 as well. So it's a dumb move. We're in position to, worst finish fourth, and just blew it.
Thanks, Joey. Mike?
Thanks, Jamie. Yes, Harrison Burton was the car that tagged Logano and sent him spinning around after the contact with the wall. Sunday, it's the biggest day in stock car racing. The Great American Race kicks off the NASCAR season at 2:30 Eastern, 11:30 a.m. Pacific, only on Fox and the Fox Sports app. Jack Roush chimney sweep as Roush Fenway Keselowski sweeps the duels here at Daytona. Duel 1 very tame. Duel 2 was just fine till that last lap. And then everybody got together. What did we learn? What are you looking forward to for Sunday?
Well, I'm looking more forward to anything. We're going to put all 40 of them out there together.
Okay.
We're going to mix them all. We had them in two separate bowls tonight. Now we're going to mix them all together. And, of course, it's the Daytona 500. And, you know, it's all bets are off. Everybody comes down here with the feeling, I can win this thing just like Michael McDowell did a year ago.
Honestly, for me, leading into these duels, I didn't have much of a surprise. Kind of what I expected. A lot of tiptoeing around, a lot of learning with this new car. So many different variables. The pit stops, problems on pit road with Denny Hamlin, a three-time champion of this race. Everybody's learning these 500s, but man, RFK winning both races.
How about that?
Huge shot in arm for that team. Very proud of all those guys.
I think for me, how quickly the runs came. As Joey Logano pointed out, that surprised him, and how quickly any car can lose the draft and get completely disassociated with that lead pack. Now the big question is, Larry, do they fix that car? Do they go to a backup? What's next for the 22?
Yeah, we know they have 2 backups down here, and that's what they're looking at right now. We've already found out earlier in some testing that these cars can be repaired quite quickly. Do they want to do that? We have 2 more days down here of practice before the race on Sunday. I'm sure there will be a lot of brain thrust looking at that car. What do we do?
Well, there's Chris Buescher, who will start 4th in the Daytona 500. The front row was earned last night, Larson and Bowman. The next second row tonight by Team RFK, Keselowski and Buescher. Have a rookie behind them, Austin Cindric. Michael McDowell, last year's winner. And on back, the Toyotas will all be in line pretty much. Rows 6, 7, and 8 there. And Joey Logano, instead of row 2, it'll be row 10. Kevin Harvick back in the 11th row.
See a lot of those Hendrick cars going to start pretty deep in the field.
And Denny Hamlin, again, I said it, 3-time champion of this race, going to be starting in the back.
Here is the rest of your field, along with the drivers who fell back on their time to make the race. Noah Gragson and Jacques Villeneuve. J.J. Yaley and Timmy Hill are the 2 drivers who will not be in the Daytona 500 on Sunday. Larry Mack, thanks for joining us. Happy Thursday.
I had a blast. Yep. I'll be in the studio tomorrow myself.
All right, it'll be a full moon in Charlotte too, and you'll hear from Shannon Spake and the studio right after this.